Our job in displaying the posts is almost complete. What remains here is how to display post that has been published only. As you can see here, the future posts are also displayed. The author could be write a post, but he may not want to publish to the public. He could make it as a draft or publish it in later date, maybe tomorrow, next week, or even a month to come. We'll add a special column in our post table to accommodate the publication date. So let's go back to our terminal. And here, let's create a new migration. Now let's open the migration file we just created. I forgot to add the option table in migration command. So here we have no table schema definition. I'll delete the migration file. I repeat the command using up or down arrow and adding an option table equal posts. Reopen the migration file, and now we have table schema definition. Okay, here let's add a new column. Because we'll save the date and time, let's call timestamp method in singular. For the column name, let's give the name published at and make it nullable. Later, this published at could be null value, indicating a strap post, date before, or is current date time as published post, or a feature date as scheduled post. In down method, we do the opposite. Drop the published at column. Now let's run the last migration we have. Now let's see in PHPMyAdmin. Okay, we have published at column in our post table, but of course this column is empty. You can fill it with specific dates directly in PHPMyAdmin, or follow me by changing the post table seeder. Here we set the value for published at column, and we can make another increment date for it. Here we'll also simplify this command using Carbon. Carbon is a PHP extension API for datetime. In Laravel, it's already installed, so we just use it. Let's take a look at the official website. And here we can read more detail how to use it. Let's test in the Thinker. First, we create an object by calling Carbon now. As you can see, this object contains the current date time. We can also specify the date and time we want to make by calling create method. Specify the year, month, date, and hour. We can also get one day from current date time using this Carbon instance by calling a day method. As you can see here, it's 27th of July before, and now become 28th of July. If you want to get few days from now, you can use addDays method and specify the number of the days. Okay, in this seeder file, we will change this line with a simpler increment date using Carbon instance. In my machine, it's currently 27th of July. I'll step back 9 days to make sure that all posts that will be generated has no future date. Up here, let's create a Carbon instance. And don't forget to import namespace at the top. Back to for loop here, and let's change this command with addDays. Then pass the I variable. Then for the value of published at, I want to make it in 3 conditions. First, the time before today to indicate the post is published. Second, the value is null to indicate it's drop post. And the last, it contains a future date time to indicate its publication date in schedule. Let's make random number between 1 and 0. If the generated number is 0, we set the value to null. Otherwise, we make it in 2 condition date as I mentioned earlier. Okay, let's test by rerun the database seed. Now let's see the changes in our browser. 5 months. Let's see in phpMyAdmin. All posts has same date. Let's check again our code. It turns out that there are a lot of mistakes here. Sorry about that. First, the value that is passed to a days method. Here I pass the I variable, which will change in each iteration. It could change from 1 to 10. Meanwhile, when we call add days, it will affect the value in date instance. In the next line, we add value of I variable with random number. That's why the date has big difference. The second, we have all posts with same date. This because we have carbon object. No matter how much we assign it to other variables, if one object changes, it will affect all variables. We change the value of the date object in each iteration. Although in the next line, we assign it to updated date and created date column. The last modification of date object, in this case the last loop, will change the value of both updated date and created date column. For the first problem, let's change the value of add days with 1. And we don't need variable assignment here. And for the second problem, we use clone to copy an object to the new one. Each variable will has each references. And we also need to copy the date object for publication date. And instead of creating 2 objects for created date and updated date, let's assign it to one object because both has same value. Lastly, we change the published at. I'll make 4 posts published. For the rest, I'll make in 2 conditions, draft and scheduled. And of course, it doesn't need semicolon here. Now let's rerun the seed again. Now let's see in phpMyAdmin. All post has publication date. I need several posts to have empty publication date. I'll run the db seed again. Let's see. Okay, now I have 3 conditions of publication date. Great. I think there's no problem so far. So let's see how the data presented in our application. There we go. Here I have a post created 2 hours from now. This post made 21 hours ago. And above here is made 1 day from now. This is slightly off from what I expected. But I think it's okay for now.